Hey guys, what's up? It's Luke, and in this video we're going to talk about the best English speakers of all time. Because we have to be able to know what's at the top, right? The best, if we're going to go in that direction, right? So we'll talk about why they're the best, why I think they're the best, and we'll look at some videos as well. I have some videos ready for you to watch. Before we start, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't already, subscribe. And also, and maybe even more important, hit the like button. Just hit the like button. Give it a little like. I know it's a very small thing, but it would really mean a lot to me. It really helps the channel grow. So if you'd like other people to see my videos as well, make sure you hit the like button. Okay, let's get started. Who is the best English speaker of all time? Well, in fact, it's impossible to really know because we don't have recordings of everybody who's ever spoken English throughout all of time. The best we can do is just look at some examples, and I'm going to share my examples, the people I think are at the top, the best English speakers. I'm going to show you some examples. Okay, I'm going to share a couple of videos that I've prepared. I've done research. I've been researching this for years, well, hours, but I did some work here to find who I think are the best English speakers. First, before I show you the videos, we have to understand the criteria, right? What are we going to use to measure what best means? So my evaluation criteria for the best English speaker of all time should be in an echo, right? Evaluation criteria. That sounds so serious and dramatic. Evaluation criteria. That's better. My evaluation criteria are, number 1, ease of use. In other words, being able to, whenever you need it, pull out exactly the right word. Not only common words, but if there's a word which is maybe a higher level word, it's right there and comes right out without any pause. So that would be command of vocabulary. That doesn't mean always using huge words, but it means being able to use higher level or more difficult words when you need them without having to actually search for them or look them up in a dictionary or a thesaurus. Thesaurus is like a dictionary, but you find synonyms or similar words that have similar meanings. They don't need a thesaurus. They can just, boom, say what they want to say and find exactly the right word. That should be the goal for all of us, right? Me too. Number 2, lack of pauses and thinking. When you're speaking, sometimes you you do all that kind of stuff when you're speaking. Totally normal, totally fine, but if you're the best English speaker of all time, then maybe you don't do that very much. Number 3, and this one is a little bit maybe weird to say, but I'm going to say poetry. Now, poetry is artistically putting words together so that they have impact and power and they sound beautiful. And they create an image in your mind that's totally clear. Right? Someone can use all the right words, but maybe in a way which is very dry and boring, right? Like this video when I'm speaking. Maybe I'm putting together most of the right words, but okay, just play the videos. All right, let's watch the videos. It's enough, right? But if someone's a really powerful speaker, naturally, not giving a speech, they can make it so that it's entertainment just to listen to them talk. Okay, and so those are the 3 things. Got poetry, natural poetry, let's call it natural poetry, lack of pauses and thinking words, and the other is command of vocabulary. See, I can't even say the word vocabulary. Command of vocabulary, the ability to say exactly the right word, exactly when it's necessary or should be said. All right. No more waiting. We're only going to look at 3. There are lots of other potential people who are really good at speaking and communicating. We're only going to look at 3. And we're going to go 3, 2, 1. So the number 1 will be, in my opinion, the best English speaker of all time. The best English speaker of all time. Okay? Here we go. Number 3, Christopher Hitchens.
The great lexicographer, author of the first, compiler, I should say, of the first great dictionary of the English language. When it was complete, Dr. Johnson was waited upon by various delegations of people to congratulate him, of the nobility, of the quality, of the commons, of the lords, and also by a delegation of respectable ladies of London who attended on him in his Fleet Street lodgings and congratulated him.
Christopher Hitchens is a great speaker, and the thing that makes him a great speaker is that he's able to express exactly what he means without any hesitation. And the words that he uses add a lot of power to what he's saying. In fact, when he's speaking, it sounds very direct and sometimes almost rude. But actually, he's trying to create that effect sometimes because he was a journalist and an author who was often debating people, right? So he has a very direct style. And I don't know about you, but when he's talking, to me, it's almost like his education is coming out of his mouth, right? He's very well educated. He went to Oxford, and it didn't just disappear. It's all here. And when he needs it, boom, it comes right out of his mouth. Number 2, Terence McKenna.
We all are very comfortable bashing science and flailing away at that, but that isn't our enemy. Science is capable of undertaking its own reformation and critique and has been engaged in that fairly vigorously for some time. The enemy that will really subvert the enterprise of building a world based on clarity is the belief that we cannot point out the pernicious forms of idiocy that flourish in our own community.
Terence McKenna is someone I've discovered recently, and actually, he isn't that famous. Now, he has also passed away. In fact, everyone we're going to talk about in this video is now dead. He is able to, when he's speaking, it's almost like a river, speak without any hesitation or pause, and find the most powerful way to do it, while at the same time making it seem almost playful. It's almost like he's playing with language. So he's not like Christopher Hitchens, punching you in the face with almost direct and harsh language. Instead, he's using language to create a landscape. And then when you experience the landscape, because you're listening to what he's saying, you realize that he's actually kind of writing poetry as he's speaking. The main thing to me about Terence McKenna that's really impressive is that he can go on and on. He can talk for 2 hours, 3 hours. He has some talks that are that long. And it's like that, the video I showed you, for the whole thing. Now, after we look at the next one, I am going to share a couple of tips that you guys, as English learners, can keep in mind that might help you get closer to this, right? I don't think anybody is at this level, but we can all take a few things from maybe their amazing abilities and try to apply them so that we can become, and I include myself here as well, okay, we're in this together, so that we can become better English speakers too. Number 1, in my opinion, the best English speaker of all time. The best English speaker of all time. Alan Watts.
When teachers in class screamed at us, "Pay attention," we go tight in various ways. Either to see or hear more clearly, to concentrate, or to will something which is supposed to be difficult to do. And that constitutes a habitual tension over the whole body that's there almost all the time. And that feeling of unnecessary tension is, as it were, the material sensation upon which we fasten this concept of I. We hang it on to that feeling. The concept is not us. The feeling of tension is completely phony. It has nothing to do with success in seeing, hearing, or acting. And so we get the marriage of an illusion with a falsehood.
Now, his use of the English language always amazes me. And sort of like the last person I mentioned, Terence McKenna, he is able to create a landscape and find exactly the right word that he wants to use and just say it right away without any thinking words or pauses. So he can do all of that. But he also mixes in a lot of very simple, almost childish things, and it kind of shakes things up and surprises you. And so in that way, it's even more artistic and even more, to me, enjoyable to listen to. He's one of my favorite people to listen to. No, he is my favorite person to listen to. Another really interesting thing about how Alan Watts uses language is his ability to play with tone. So he raises and lowers his voice almost in a playful way. And number one, it makes it easier to listen to for longer. You don't get really tired of hearing him speak. And number two, it's done to create a feeling on top of the meaning of the word. You have the meaning of the word and then a certain tone added to it that is stylistic, that is his style. So it's sort of like a layering effect. And for that reason, it's an art form, I think. The reason I say it's an art form, a craft, is that so few people can do it. You know, you might think, oh yeah, well, native English speakers, they all speak natively. But there's a huge range of how well people speak English. There's a very big range.
Yeah, kind of stay under the profile, under the radar. Whether it's life or there's swimming, always do your best. I can't wait until I'm done swimming, then I can go to the market to do a little shopping.
And so if you're able to say exactly what you mean and do it in a way which is entertaining without pauses and find the right words exactly and create the exact impression that you want to create in the audience, if you can do that, you're a master. You're an artist. That's your magical skill, right? Now, I said I was going to talk about what we can actually take away from watching these videos of these three people. And so I think there are a couple things. First, if you want to improve your ability to use words, you have to feel really comfortable using them. That means if you're learning words in lists, you probably won't be able to use them. But if you're learning them in context, it's much more likely that you will be able to use them. So how can you learn words in context? What's the best way? Read! Reading is the best way. Because when you're reading, you have to pay attention to the whole sentence. You see how it's used. And if you see a new word in 100 different places, right, that's higher frequency. And so you're going to be able to get a feeling for that a lot easier. So read. Number two, practice writing. That's the other side of reading. All of these guys read like crazy, okay? But they were also writers, all of them. Christopher Hitchens, Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, all readers, big readers, all writers. Do you think that's just a coincidence? No, it's not. They were very well educated, they read a lot, and they wrote a lot. So, in addition to reading, write. Whether it's a diary once a day or about a topic that you want to write about that you're interested in. If you practice writing, you practice putting words down and organizing them in sentences that make sense. And so you're connecting those parts of your brain. It's essential, right? So practice writing for fun and practice reading for fun. Do both. Do both. Now, the last one is kind of obvious, but all of these three were public speakers. Do you think they were always good at public speaking? No. They practiced a lot. Now, you don't have the opportunity, maybe, to do public speeches all the time, or to talk all the time in public, or even talk at all in English. But you can record yourself speaking. You can ask yourself a question. Then you can answer that question out loud and record it and listen back to it and see how you did and take notes. You can do that. You can do it by yourself at home, right? If you don't have a teacher. You can get a teacher, that's great. But if you don't have a teacher, it's okay. Practice by yourself. Read, write, and speak. So, what do you guys think of my top 3? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Make sure to leave a comment and let me know what you think. Just so you know, I do read all the comments. So actually, it's a pretty good way to practice writing. If you want to practice, start now. I'll be reading all the comments. Okay, also, don't forget to give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.